yung affidavit daw ay forged document. So, ngayon, ang tinatanong is, ano ang repercussions nito sa inyo daw dahil kayo yung nagpresenta?
Repercussions on me.
Meron siyang repercussions?
May mga ganun. Hindi, tanong lang naman, syempre, umiikot. And
I'm surprised this is happening. Are they trying to create a mountain out of a molehill?
Di ba ho, and I agree with this, and other legal luminaries have also agreed that, notwithstanding the fact that the signature was of the lawyer, notary public, was allegedly forged, he already sworn in before the Senate, di ho ba? So,
Yes, he did.
kaya, didn't that cure whatever defect there was in the preparation of the affidavit or the notarization of the affidavit?
I think so, because the guy presented himself before the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee.
Correct.
He took his oath, and then he allowed himself to be interpellated by the entire committee.
But, Senator
But let's get
yeah.
back to the allegedly,
I was not
what
aware.
is that?
Repercussions.
No, the notarized, the forged, whatever.
forged document daw.
The signature of the notary public was allegedly forged.
Yes.
If we can at least waste our precious time discussing this, you will have to believe and assume that Gutesa has the power to go to one office, get the notarial stamp of whoever is notarizing there, secure the dry seal, and then look for the last entry of the book of the notarial register
Right.
or the registry para makuha mo yung document number, the page number, and the book number, and then sasaynan ni Gutesa. Are we able to assume all this, that Gutesa has the capacity to do all this by himself?
The other lawyer who also presented the same signature, the same forged signature, was Attorney Romulo Macalintan.
Yes. At meron din akong nakuha, ganun din.
Exactly.
Yung signature, very, very close doon sa... So, ako, ang assumption ko dito, like the assumptions of many, if not all, pumunta ka sa isang lugar, let's say, the periphery of Quezon City Hall.
Correct.
Nandyan naka-line up lahat ng ano. Somebody will go to each one of these. I-present niya yung paper. And then, all the guy would have to do is, bigay niya yung papel, then wait for a while, hanggang sa natataka na lahat yung papeles niya. And then he pays. No one would insist on, let's say, verifying bago siya umalis. Sir, ma'am, can I please ascertain whether you are the one who signed this? Are you the lawyer who signed this document? Yung po bang nagpapanotaryo had all these things to do bago siya umalis? The notary public in this country has become a cottage industry. Wala naman talagang lawyer doon eh. I have always assumed that somebody, like in the case of Gutesa, was there assigned by that lawyer, whoever she is or he is. Maring hindi siya ang pumirma, but she or he allowed somebody to sign for him or for her. This is happening everywhere.
Sa
This
totoo
is
lang,
something that we should recognize.
sa totoo lang, kinagawian talaga dito yan eh. di ba?
Pagkatapos yung poor na tao, ang i-ostracize, and he will be discredited by... Paano why are we allowing, let's say, ourselves to be swayed into other direction? Gutesa is the most credible witness ever presented in that committee. Why? Gutesa has nothing to gain. Gutesa has everything to lose, including his life, and the safety and the security of his family. But the most important thing, Gutesa was able to connect the dots from Saldico to Martin Romualdez.
And that's the reason why there is pressure also now in the Senate to issue an invite to the House to ask former Speaker Martin Romualdez
And I
to
welcome that.
appear. So at
All
least,
the while, I've been thinking that that is the most proper thing for the Blue Ribbon Committee to do. Why is it that all the personages mentioned by Gutesa in his own affidavit, like a certain John Paul Estrada and Mark Texay, allegedly the ones who are receiving the money and then counting the money, in the house of, from the house of Saldico in Valle Verde, then to be transported in his house in BGC. And from there, yung leftovers, kasi like the one he mentioned, that was December 2024. Sabi niya, ito po minimension ko special because this is pinakamalaki pong delivery namin. You imagine 46 suitcases. Each suitcase, sabi niya, as an amount of, let's say, 48 million. How did you know 40? Kasi merong label eh, sabi niya, yung post-it. And dadalhin po namin kay Saldico sa unit niya sa BGC. Out of 46, ang ibababa namin 35 at that time. So 11 ang naiwan, 35 ang dinala kay Martin Romualdez. Bakit hindi naman ipatawag si John Paul Estrada? Ba't hindi ipatawag si Mark Tiksay? These are the ones he personally knew and sila ang nag-receive, sila ang nag-handle, sila ang nagbilang.
Nakausap niyo na ho ba si Senator Lacson tungkol dyan? In the concern that you have, that why didn't you send yung pwedeng isamon yan, di ba? It's a
Palagi
subpoena.
yung sinasabi. Unang-unan, bago kami nag-iwahiwalay. Ba't hindi mo ka ako patawag si Saldico? Alam mo, sabi, nagtagal ka naman dyan eh. Don't you know the interparliamentary courtesy? He was preaching to the choir.
Of course.
Sabi ko, are we violating interparliamentary courtesy if we simply invite him? No. I invited Toby Chanko and I was the chairman.
And he appeared.
He appeared. And twice he appeared. Ba't ayaw mong tawagin? Ba't ayaw mong tawagin, for example, the initial 17 congressmen mentioned by the Discayas. 17 congressmen. Hindi man lang niya ipatawag kahit isa. And he himself mentioned 67 contractors congressmen.
Correct. In your late...
Nagpatawag siya. I'm not saying that we should not call the small fries here or charge them. They're all accessories to this crime. Pero wag naman nating pakaiwasan o pagtakpan yung malalaking isda na dapat nating matukoy dito.